show that comes on, I believe, every afternoon. It may actually be on while we're on the air, but both, I think both, just listening to it, David Pollack and former Ohio State wide receiver Joey Galloway had this to say about Clemson's opening matchup against the Georgia Bulldogs.
I am going. They're going to lose to Georgia. I'm going to go ahead and
right
take the Bulldogs
so you're going under.
to win that game. So the number was 11.5.
That's right.
Then I'm going under.
Okay.
I'm with them. I think it's a coin flip game. Both teams are really talented. Here's the thing. Here's what stinks about college football and what we're looking at. The rest of that schedule, I know what they're going to do. I mean, there is. I showed you Alabama's schedule. I'm like, hey, listen, at least,
right.
Ole Miss can score. LSU has talent.
And you're not pointing to North Carolina on that schedule, which
it's not on there.
No, it isn't. So my question only, how happy. Look at Clemson's talented team, but UNC's they're making some noise.
NC State might be the next toughest game for them, I think.
We keep waiting on Florida State to show up.
Yeah.
We keep waiting. Mike Norvell maybe in his second season might get something else out of him. They got to be better at quarterback. And it's not Clemson's fault that the ACC is terrible, but that it is what it is. They have one game on their schedule that we look at to say this is the game they can lose, and I think they're going to lose it.
They'll be double-digit favorites probably in every other game.
So there's the conversation. And again, Pollack said Clemson's going to be double-digit favorites in every other game. Now, I do think that Joey Galloway's assessment of the ACC is a little bit unfair from the standpoint of he said the ACC is terrible. Again, I don't know that anybody thinks that Miami's going to hang with Alabama or beat Alabama, but you got to go play those games on the field. So we'll get a chance to see some measuring stick games in the opening weekend of the season for the Atlantic Coast Conference, and the narrative can shift in a hurry. I mean, that's the other thing about this. Like what Clemson does against Georgia, if Clemson wins, doesn't necessarily change the dynamic. If Georgia beats Clemson, then maybe, yes, some people really start talking down on the ACC. But there are other games out there in the opening week, that Miami and Alabama game. Can Miami keep it respectable? Can Miami take that thing into the fourth quarter? What if somehow Miami pull an upset? Louisville and Ole Miss on Monday night, 8 o'clock over at Mercedes-Benz Stadium. What if the Cardinals beat Ole Miss? And, you think about Ole Miss's offense a year ago under Lane Kiffin, the way they were able to move the ball, the points they put up. What if Scott Satterfield and Louisville get the best of them in that game? I might even make an argument. What if Florida State looks competitive against Notre Dame on Sunday night on ABC, a 7:30 start? I mean, so there are games out there to open the season for the Atlantic Coast Conference that may not change the overall narrative about the league, but could shift that conversation from it's not Clemson's fault, the ACC is terrible, to, maybe Miami is not bad. Maybe, North Carolina in their matchup with Virginia Tech, maybe they just look sharp on the road at night, in Blacksburg. Again, how many, if you want to look at the numbers, how many teams have to be at the top of a conference before you go, yeah, conference is pretty good? Is it 4? Is it 5? I mean, it can't be 12 or 14. We'll hit a quick break. We'll bounce back. Final segment of the show coming up right after this.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid